We all love playing Dreamcast, PlayStation, and Nintendo 64 games. Moreover, we also wish to finish some games from the old days. 2021 and 2022 was the breakthrough year for Android emulation, in my humble opinion, thanks to the powerful Snapdragon chipset by Qualcomm. It boosted most of the performance of all the smartphone devices, and now, using emulators is super easy as 123. There are a lot of it available online, plus they are free to use for the public, although some have paid versions. Most of them are in Playstore and sometimes you can sideload from websites. Before we start, please bear in mind, emulation is legal. However, if the games you're playing are downloaded elsewhere, well, that's considered illegal. Hello, my name is Fredo, and in this video, I'll be sharing my 6 favorite Android emulators in 2022, which I use for my reviews, testing, and gameplay. I'll also share all the links of the emulators in the description box below. Let's get started. The emulators that are picked is based on performance and stability. There is no order in the video, instead, everything is random. With that said, here's my first emulator. The PPSSPP is the major emulator that has 100 million installs in the Play Store, and it's also the most stable emulator out there that can mimic one of the best handheld devices of all time, which is the Sony PSP. Additionally, the emulator is also expanded to support higher resolution, specifically in high definition or HD. The emulator is super decent, with a lot of adjustable settings to be playable in other chipsets. You can also optional for the paid version, the PPSSPP Gold, which will just support the developers. Next is M64 Plus. If you like Nintendo 64, definitely you'll like this. If you're a fan of GoldenEye and Super Mario, this is a great match for you. It's nearly perfect and not all games work, but most do. But don't be heartbroken. The developers are continuously updating the APK to allow players to add scale effects shader. Next up is the Dolphin emulator. It supports GameCube, Wii, you can play Super Mario Paper, Kirby, and many others. Most of the games are completely playable, and some are not. It runs near to perfect. Also, this emulator has a lot of versions outside the Play Store and are better developed with additional options and settings in the back end. You have to take note that using a controller will cause you problems, especially on the Dolphin Play Store. Now, before I tell you the next one, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video will be awesome. But anyway, we have another Nintendo console called the Citra. This app can emulate Nintendo 3DS games with some limitation and only few compatible games. However, you can still play games like Super Mario and Persona. There's also an in-app purchase if you want to customize and get more optimization options. Up next is Redream emulator. You can play your old and favorite Dreamcast titles. The emulator is pretty impressive and has compatible games to play. It runs perfectly with Snapdragon 870 and 888. There are some frame drops here and there, but it's not that really noticeable in my humble opinion. The last and not the least is Aether SX2, one of the best emulator for PS2. This emulator was later released last year and had a lot of good feedback from players and impressive results behind all the issues. If you want to know more about the beginning of the Aether SS2, I'll link them up in the top right hand corner. The installation is super easy and you can option to use on-screen control or a DS controller. They also added a feature where they enable 2 players in this emulator, and it now supports Vulkan rendering. The performance is really impressive in this emulator. and is one of my highly recommended emulators. However, it is still in beta version. There are still a lot of emulators out there, but for now, these 6 are the best performing, stable, and has no compatible issue whatsoever. However, it really depends on the device you're going to use. I would suggest getting a Snapdragon chipset rather than the others. So I hope you like this video, and if you're interested in anything featured here, I've left the links for you in the description. And if you want to see more content from me, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. If you have any questions, drop me a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good game everyone. Peace.